it's Tony and Kris.
Hi there.
We're back again. If you came back after seeing that first show, God bless you.
We appreciate you so much.
Wasn't awesome. This is, it's new to us. A couple of old radio guys getting into the digital world. So.
Well, and we said from the get-go that we wanted to bring you along for the entire ride. So if you're here with us, we appreciate it, because a lot of times real pros will do all this stuff, these terrible shows behind the scenes, and try to get better and then come on. And we're like, we'll just come on and you guys can suffer with us.
Who has time to practice? We're thrilled that you're here. We've gotten a lot of great comments and a lot of subscribers, and we appreciate that. And we're hoping to grow this channel. We want it to be worldwide. We want it to be something that people discover and go, who are these two idiots? And go, I can watch this. But a special thank you this week on one of our Facebook friends, Wendy, had this great comment we wanted to quickly share. And for us, as people who have been on morning commutes with you for 30 years on the radio, to hear this, which is kind of the reason we're doing these shows. Great show. It felt great having you on during my commute. So Wendy, listened to the show in her car on her way to or from work, and we love that. Obviously, we want you to enjoy these shows wherever. Watch them. I recommend, like, if you're cooking, you can pop it up on the counter, stick it on an iPad or your computer right there on the counter, wherever. We don't care how you watch. We just want you to watch.
Appreciate you all doing it, and appreciate the shares, too.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanksgiving, a week away. Can you believe it?
Man, it just goes quicker every year.
I mean, time flies, and like the older you get, it's funny, I'm just getting fired and sitting around doing nothing. It's like, it makes the time fly.
But I'm really good at that.
If I could make money somehow doing nothing, then I got this thing down. A little later in the show, we are going to save you a bunch of time, and we are going to take your stress level down by 10.
This is amazing.
Some great things, and some of you may already be doing this, but I bet a lot of you are not.
This could change your Thanksgiving for the rest of your life.
Yeah, super cool. Speaking of stress, Kris is a relatively new parent. You just got married. Now it's kind of official.
Yeah.
And this week you're kind of on your own with Lily.
Yeah, that's happened a few times, and I don't want to sell myself too much, but I'm amazing.
Okay.
No, I don't understand parents that have more than one kid, how you do it. Because Lily is 12, and she's in gymnastics, and she's got school. Between the pickups and drop-offs and remembering what all's got to be done and carrying everything, I don't know these people that have 4 or 5 kids, how it's done. I mean, I've got friends, Dustin and Hope at CryoStretch. They've got, I think, 30 kids. And every time I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I got to go to Georgia for a soccer tournament, and she's got to go here to take 2 of the kids there, and this and that. And I don't know how y'all do it.
Raising 3 kids, I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but I was absolutely thrilled when really none of my kids had any interest in organized sports or things like that, because that is where the nightmares begin. Now, my girls rode horses, so we didn't have to do the horse show thing or whatever, but Jeffrey never had any interest. Like he tried baseball for like 1 season when he was young. Wasn't much there, which is great, because if you're a parent, you know what you don't want to do? Run your kids all over the place. That's what we do. I mean, we're chauffeurs. That's really how it comes down. But I was very lucky that didn't happen, because when you have multiple kids and one kid has to be at this place at this time and another kid has to be a place at a slightly different time, you have to start splitting up those chores of like, how do we get them here or there?
So you kind of secretly hope that your kids slide into plan B pretty quick. Like, you know what? I'm probably going to end up being an insurance salesman. I just need to come home every day. And if you can take me to your office and let me sit behind a desk for a couple of hours and then come home miserable and angry at the world, it'll just get me set for life.
Yes, that should be the dream we're teaching our children. Give up early and just settle into something that just makes you want to die.
Yes.
It's challenging.
Parenting 101.
98% of kids, just being honest, probably won't be that thing they want to be, that the movie star or the influencer in this day and age. But I give them the chance to try. And I gave my kids chances to try. You can do whatever you want to do. I was just lucky. They didn't want to do anything. They were much like their father.
I was just lucky.
I consider myself blessed.
I was just lucky. They didn't want to do anything.
# blessed. Okay, so a couple of things this week that we wanted to talk about. Wakanda Forever.
Oh.
Haven't seen the movie yet. But, man, second biggest opening.
$180 million.
In October, I guess, or November, whatever it was. Yeah. Unbelievable. And I think everybody was kind of wondering, and maybe that's it, the curiosity factor. How are they going to handle this? How do we do this movie without Chadwick Boseman?
I've seen mixed reviews on how they handled it, and I will see the movie. Will you see it, or are you going to wait?
I think when it streams, I'll probably end up watching it, because this is really the ass end of characters I care about in Marvel movies.
Well, I'm still upset every time I hear Black Panther. I think about him and his passing. And I think about how people treated him online, the trolls. And I get it. That's a smaller amount of people. But they were calling him Crack Panther and all that because he didn't disclose he had cancer. He wanted to privately deal with that.
Which is his right to do.
Yeah,
obviously.
and the fact that he was losing weight and people were so quick just to, ooh, I can't wait to make fun of you and to hurt you. And it just, every time I see him, it just makes me think about that. And sometimes I hate the world.
Well, the world's an ugly place, and I don't like it because it reminds me that, man, I often make those terrible jokes for a quick laugh.
But you know, there's a difference when you have a good heart. And I know that's a cliche, but, you know, hopefully most of you know that when you hear us take a shot at somebody, and we take just as many shots at us. So
yeah, we suck more than anybody.
That's true.
Yeah, if you want to get the inside, you have to find a way into my home where Katie and I sit in our living room and say the worst possible thing you can imagine. But other than that, that's just for our own enjoyment. That's not because we feel that way or we mean that. But, you know, you have to have a place. It's like our fortress of solitude.
We need to just start having a stenographer follow you two around.
That is the last
for a week
thing.
And just have them read back.
That is the last thing in the world anybody needs or wants. I wouldn't want to hear that. I would sit there and go, oh my God, I'm more horrible than I thought. I didn't think that was possible. Another story we saw this week that is questionable. I don't know how you're going to feel about it. What would you think about, like, if you were walking through the airport and rather than have to deal with that really busy, you know, food court, there's a Subway smart vending machine. I can grab a fresh sandwich out of that vending machine.
No part of it.
It's not really for me either. They're testing this idea, and I think they started it in our old stomping grounds at UC San Diego in La Jolla, of putting a smart vending machine for, you know, college kids to just run by and scan the card and grab a sandwich. And supposedly the local Subway will deliver fresh sandwiches, I guess, however often they need to during the day. But I just don't know, man.
I want no part of it. I won't say the name of the place, but they're thinking of starting a vending machine sandwich delivery. But I was in this place.
Okay.
And
it took me a second. That's how slow I am. It's like, wait a minute, we were just talking about this.
And the kid's making the sandwich, and he's got his gloves on, and I'm not kidding when he goes, okay, and what else would you like? Do you want tomatoes or whatever? And he just goes, do you want... And I just went, what I'd like is a new sandwich.
Yes, that's not how gloves work.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get just to put anything you want on them.
Totally off base on that.
I just don't like the idea of something like that sitting, even if it's refrigerated, the whole thing.
No part of it.
Tastes the same, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. And then one other thing, and Nick Cannon, if you know who he is, I think, host of America's Got Talent.
Yes.
And he's got a radio show.
Married to Mariah, or was?
Was for a while. Yeah, he's got a lot of things. But now the thing I think he's most known for is pumping out kids.
It's a thing for him now. He's like a Pez dispenser.
Well, his wives are, or his women are, or a clown car. Their uterus is like a clown car. These babies just keep piling out of these things. He just welcomed his 11th child. Man. And already the 12th is on the way.
I just said we're not staffed for Lily. And he's got 12 of them. How do you remember the birthdays? How do you remember all that stuff?
Well, it's a lot easier when you don't have to be in this house with all of them all the time.
That's true.
I mean, he's not responsible for getting them to their practice and stuff. Although he does say that he travels around, he's got the money, and he tries to, you know, eat breakfast with them and take them to classes and stuff.
That's the key to good parenting. Have a breakfast once a month with your kid.
See your kid once a month to enjoy an Eggo waffle. They'll remember that. That'll be something.
Swing into Cracker Barrel, honey.
They'll pop that in the scrapbook, I'm sure. So talking about like remembering things, how do you remember kids' names? I would often call my own kids by the wrong name when I was angry. You know, get down here, and I only had 3. Well, there's an answer.
My grandmother had 40 names she'd get through before me, and I'd be like, that's it. You got it.
Ding, 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 ding. There's an answer to this question. How does he remember the names of the kids? The thing is, you have to name them unique names.
Well, he's outdone himself.
So we didn't expect to do this, but then when we saw the names, we figured we have to do a deep dive here.
It's a Nick Cannon kid deep dive.
Which also, by the way, what he's been doing apparently around the country. But these names. So bring up the graphics. Let's meet the moms and let's hear these names. So mothers, we start with Mariah Carey.
Legendary.
Okay, diva. He's got twins with her. Then Brittany Bell.
Okay, ring her bell.
Okay. Model and former Miss Arizona USA.
Former Miss Arizona. So the current Miss Arizona is still up for grabs for him.
Couldn't hit that.
We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, she took a number. He'll get to her as quickly as possible. Abby De La Rosa.
Don't know who that is.
She's, I guess, a DJ, radio personality.
Okay.
So you've got that going on. Then you've got Alyssa Scott. And I don't know exactly what she does. I think she's a model.
Okay.
Shockingly. Bree Teasy.
Okay.
She's a real estate agent. You can enjoy her on Selling Sunset. You feel like one of these kids is doing their own thing. A model, diva, singer, real estate agent. That was a mistake.
Well,
Okay, I'm sorry. That's not fair. But anyway, happy for all of them.
Yes. Thrilled for them.
Let's get into the kids' names, though. Here's where it gets interesting, and here's how you remember names of your children. We start with the twins, Monroe and Moroccan.
Moroccan? Is that a boy or a girl?
I don't know. I could look it up, but all I know is if that kid's Moroccan, don't come a knocking.
Okay.
They're 11 years old, and that's with Mariah. And then you've got Golden, who is 5.
That's the name?
Golden.
Golden Cannon.
Golden Cannon.
That sounds like a Bond movie.
It's what Nick's sporting all over, all around the country. So you got Golden, and then we've got Powerful Queen. That is her name.
Okay.
She's a year old. Powerful Queen.
That sounds like a Carnival cruise ship.
Yes. More twins, Zion and Zillion.
Zillion.
Also 1 year old.
Okay.
Zillion. Come on, man. Zen, who very sadly passed away. Zen was born in June of 2021, I believe, but then passed away in December of that year of a brain tumor. So that's absolutely horrible. I can't even imagine. So we move on to Legendary Love.
That's the name. Legendary Love.
That is the child's name. Legendary Love. And then you've got Onyx Ice Coal. Not Ice Cold. Ice Coal. Onyx Ice Coal. Rise Messiah.
Whoa.
I know.
Rise Messiah?
Rise Messiah.
Can you imagine in school? Rise Messiah? What would you like to say?
I don't even know, man. And finally, Beautiful Zeppelin. No relation to lead. And there's one on the way, and he's released the name. If it's a boy, they're going to call him Larry. Interesting choice. Although in that batch of names, Larry stands out as the weird one.
Yeah, that would be the case. It's like the Munsters. If you look up that old show. By the way, please question how you named your kids now, because if they don't have cool names like that, I question you as a parent.
I feel like a lesser parent. I feel like I failed my children. Although if I talk to them, they may not see it that way.
Talk to your kids tonight and say, hey, is it too late to change your name? Come up with something cool.
Have an honest conversation. Wouldn't you prefer Golden Cannon? I don't know.
I know some people have.
Bizarre. What are we into right now as we wrap up the week? Let's talk about music, streaming, movies. We'll start with the thing I think that a ton of people were excited about, and that is the return of Yellowstone.
Did Beth go too far?
For me, the whole Beth character is going too far. I've started losing patience with how they were writing, and it's not her. I love the actress, but how they're writing the character at the end of last season, I was like, this is becoming kind of a joke. It's becoming like this caricature of evil, and she's so over the top. I'm kind of over it.
Well, I say stick with it because I think she's going to come around. There's got to be something. This writer, Taylor Sheridan, is that his name? Is so good. I think he's going to do something to make her come back down to earth. And then to even redeem Jamie a little bit.
I don't know. I don't want it to become, because when getting into the show at the beginning, I was kind of like, this seems a lot like Dallas, which I was never into. You know, those old shows that were like nighttime soap operas. But then the writing was really good, and the actors are so good. I was like, okay, I'm in, and they got me. But now it's becoming this. I don't know. They need to do something in the next couple episodes, or I'm out.
You should stick with it.
I don't want to be out because I mean Rip and some of these other characters, but so anyway, and then along with this show, they were teasing it. If you've watched Yellowstone already, they've been teasing this new show with Sylvester Stallone that you watched.
Tulsa King, loved it. It started off the first 5 minutes. I'm like, and then when he goes into the cannabis shop, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Well, weed makes everything better.
Yeah, well, now I'm hooked. It's just Sylvester Stallone being funny. He hasn't been this funny since Rhinestone.
I really wanted a "Don't Stop or My Mom Will Shoot" reference there, but
yeah,
I'll accept Rhinestone, I guess.
That was too obvious to me. Too funny of a movie.
Nobody would believe I was making fun of that movie.
Exactly. I had to make sure the joke was clear.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But it's really good. I mean, they got me, and then even on the end, the end of the episode, they have a little hook where I'm like, oh, okay, now I got to come back and see what happens with the next one. So
may have to check that out.
Tulsa King.
All right. Show we're watching right now, and Katie turned me on. She turns on a lot of stuff. She works from home, so she'll turn on stuff for noise and often not even really pay attention. She was several episodes into this and stopped and said, I think you might like this. I love a good zombie movie. I love a good zombie series. I was into Walking Dead for a while, and then I was like, God.
Yeah, well, where they lost me on Walking Dead was if they'd give me an end game. I think the same thing happened with that show Lost years ago. It's like they kept trying to drag it out. Like, well, this is making money. Let's keep the series going. Whereas I think if 3 or 4 years ago, Walking Dead would have said, we're going to do 3 more seasons, and there's an end game, and it's them trying to get to this lab or something, or an island where they know once they get there, they're safe. and they can live their life, I would have been in.
Yeah, maybe. Well, this one for me is great. It's exciting. It's tense, and without all the let's waste an entire episode on a boring backstory on a character you don't care about. The show is called Black Summer. It debuted in 2021. That was season 1. Season 2 is out this year, and we just started season 2. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Only a couple of recognizable faces, mostly people I've never seen before. Now, that doesn't mean that they haven't done a bunch of stuff. I just haven't seen them. But I love that they keep it moving. It's exciting. It's tense. They had an episode we watched last night. I think maybe 5 lines were spoken in the entire 40-minute episode, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Well, I might check it out. I like Zombieland and World War Z. That's about the extent of my zombie knowledge.
So just a quick thing. The thing that I like about this, the twist, is that, in most zombie movies, it's some kind of, bacteria or virus that starts it. And then, if you get bitten, you turn into a zombie and blah, blah, blah. This one, and they haven't explained yet, like how it even started. They just jump in. But it doesn't matter if you get bitten or if you just die of a heart attack. Once you die, you pop back up in like 10 seconds and go bananas.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a terrifying premise, because you could just be lying next to your husband or wife at night, and if they die in their sleep, they're going to wake up in 10 seconds and kill you, which is often in our house. I feel like we live on that edge pretty much all the time anyway.
That's like Rach has woke up mad at me so many times from a bad dream or something. I'm like, hey, let's...
It's easy. So anyway, Black Summer, Netflix. If you like zombie stuff, I think it's definitely worth a watch. We're loving that in our house right now. We also watched Michael Che's new stand-up. Michael Che is one of the Weekend Update guys.
The only thing I like about him is when they write jokes for each other. That's my favorite thing on there. Other than that, I'm pretty much out on SNL.
Yeah, I don't really watch SNL, and I didn't like his last stand-up special, because Katie and I watch a ton of stand-ups. We love comedy. This one, though, I've got a lot of laughs out of it. Pretty funny, obviously. It's super R-rated if you need to know that. I can imagine turning on a stand-up special and not being ready to hear the worst things in the world. Music-wise, a couple things real quick. On vinyl, I'm a vinyl collector, and I just want to say thank you so much to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band I have loved since they started back in the 80s when I was in high school. And they put out 2 double albums in the same year, and for my money, they're both excellent.
Okay.
And we just picked up the most recent one, Return to the Dream Canteen, and it's awesome. And then also another band that I really love and have loved for a while, 1975.
Yes, I love them.
Great band, although their last album for me, a little experimental, kind of, I don't know. This new one, being funny in a foreign language, is exceptional. Just great modern pop music. Really love it.
Okay.
So those are some music that we're into at this moment. And then this one is not necessarily something we're into, but it's something that we came across. I saw it on the Today Show, and it's funny. I've always been this way. I'm an easy crier when it comes to entertainment. Like, I cry at commercials. I cry at movies and TV shows. You have not always been that way.
No, I have not.
But I have definitely seen you tear up on occasion now. I think having a child in your life makes a difference.
Well, I get accused of crying even when I'm not crying now. Oh, you're tearing up. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. No, you are.
On the inside.
Yeah.
I want to cry.
Yes.
Well, this is something, this company, John Lewis and Partners, they're a UK company, and every year around this time, as we get to the holidays, they put out some kind of special holiday commercial, and it's always very heartfelt, and, and they almost always go viral. But it's, it's ultimately promoting their company, whatever it is their company does, I don't even know. Well, this year, it's a 90-second ad, and they decided they wanted to spend their time and money on a cause that they felt was important.
Okay.
And I guess it's as big a problem in the UK as it is here in America, and that is our foster care system. Tons of children in foster care, tons of kids who need foster parents, and this is what this 90 seconds is based on. And I don't want to give it away; it's too good. But just watch it, and when it starts, you'll think, "How in the world is this?" If you don't even know what it's about going in, you're like, "Okay, this is interesting. I want to see where it goes."
So what you're saying is you have no heart if you don't watch the commercial and have feelings.
I would be shocked if it didn't make you feel something.
Okay.
I don't know what that might be, but we're gonna link it at the end of the show.
Well, I'm gonna watch it and try not to have feelings, just so you know.
So let's take this moment just for a quick plug. We actually have somebody who wanted to sponsor the show today,
and we appreciate him very much. Bennett Home. They have a location here in Knoxville at 5308 Kingston Pike, and in Nashville at 510 Merritt Avenue, Suite 202. Bennett Home. They've got furniture. It's an art gallery. All their furniture's made in Italy and shipped over here. It's great. We have a bedroom suite from them. They're fantastic. Bennett Home. They're, like I said, on Kingston Pike here in Knoxville, and in Nashville on Merritt Avenue. Check them out.
And if you happen to be watching the show and you don't live in either of those places, BennettHome.com.
There you go.
The worldwide Web.
Yes, indeed. And we appreciate them being sponsors this week.
Absolutely. Thanks, you guys. I'm shocked and very happy about that. If you own a business and you'd like to get some ad time on here, I think
we're available.
You know where to reach us. Okay, so we promised you some Thanksgiving stuff that was going to save your life. It's going to take down your stress level. It's going to save you time. And if you are an expert Thanksgiving person, if you've been hosting for a long time, you may already do some of this. But if you haven't done this yet,
it will change your life.
It is going to be the thing that makes you go, I don't hate Thanksgiving anymore. Still hate my relatives, but I don't hate Thanksgiving anymore. And it's a very simple fix. And that very simply is pregame. Do things in advance and have it ready, so all you have to do is heat and serve on Thanksgiving Day.
What are those things?
There's a lot of things you can do like this. Obviously, any soup you're going to make, if you're making your own stock, which if you are, kudos to you. I am far too lazy to do that.
I don't even know what stock is.
I mean, it's like,
a Wall Street thing, right?
Usually it's something you made with like bone broth. You use bones from something. I just buy pre-made stuff, but hey, kudos to you. Any kind of casserole, I mean, dressing, stuffing, those kind of things, you can pre-make those the day or two before, and they're still great. Gravy is something you can pre-do if you do homemade cranberry sauce. Although I'm all about the cans with little can marks on the side if I'm going to have it. And desserts. I mean, those are all easy things that you can pre-make, tuck it away, and think of not only the time you're going to save that day, but I know when I cook Thanksgiving dinner, I don't do all of it, but I do most of it. And even though it's just for, like, our oldest daughter comes over, sometimes other family, but the day gets away from you. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't have the blessing of a double oven, you're like, oh, I got two different things that have to go in at two different temperatures, and you start sweating and pulling your hair out, and next thing you know, you want to burn your house down. You don't have to do any of those things.
I know a family that on the desserts, they make it like 3 or 4 days ahead of time and already put them on little plates and have it on a tray.
Wow.
So when it's dessert time, they just come out, boom.
Fancy pants. Well, I know growing up, my mom, she did everything day of except desserts. She baked her pies and everything in advance because it was just easier. So I baked my pies in advance, and I always want to do this, but then I never do. But this year I'm doing it. I'm making a commitment. I'm going to do a couple of these things in advance so that I don't have to stress out so much.
And you've got me inspired. This year when we order from Calhoun's, we will do that order earlier than usual.
Just lock it in. Know that it's going to be okay.
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully that will help you take that stress level down and save some time. If you haven't tried it before, commit with me. I'm doing it this year.
Okay.
I'm going to see how it works. And as we get near the end here, we end our show a couple of ways. We did last list earlier in the week, but when we reach the end of the week, we want to share some stuff that we just kind of thought was funny that we found, cruising around on the web or whatever. So this is just some internet that made us laugh. So we got a few tweets and a couple of memes here that we wanted to share. A couple of these tweets are about parenthood, and if you're a parent, I think you will absolutely connect here. From Home with Peanut, welcome to parenthood. You never thought you'd want to fight a 5-year-old, but here we are.
That's true.
And that is 100% right. I think this one could go back as far as the Dixie Chicks or even before that. Asia D, NYC. I believe in free speech for everyone, unless it hurts my feelings.
That's true. I remember when the Dixie Chicks thing happened, and I'm like, I don't care what political party you are. Freedom of speech. They said what they said. Just disagree with it. And it was like, nope, I want them punished. I want them that. And then if somebody else said something that you don't like, oh, no, that's okay if they do it.
Freedom of speech is great. Just don't hurt my feelings.
Exactly.
From I hide from my kids. Kids should come with a skip intro button for their stories.
Ah.
That might be the greatest idea I've ever heard.
And there's nothing worse if you have to go to the bathroom and a story starts like that. And it's like, and they start with the same line over and over. Lily doesn't do that anymore, thank God. But, you're like, okay, I really need this to pick up.
Well, I don't want to be a grandpa ever, but if I am, I know that what I will do. And that is if a kid starts a story like that, even one of my own grandkids, I'm going to say, hey, stop it.
Get to the hook of the song.
I'm going to walk away. I'm just going to turn around and walk away. Who has time for that? I don't have time for that. A couple of memes we enjoyed. I think these are pretty self-explanatory. We'll pop this first one up there. And if you've ever waited in line at the bottom of an escalator, I think you've seen this. I'm a huge fan of that one.
Yes, I've seen that happen at a radio seminar where the elevator went out and there was a line of 500 people at the escalator went out.
Yeah.
And there's a line of 500 people at the elevators, and it was on the second floor.
I'm not walking up a flight of stairs.
I'm like, it's one flight.
What am I, a sucker? I'm not doing this. And then the other meme we really enjoyed, and this one, there's really two camps for this. You either already have your Christmas decorations up and you will be mad about this, or you're me. So here you go. I'm free decoration. Put them up whenever you want. But for us, it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And so that one really spoke to me. So I kind of enjoyed that meme very much. So a couple of things that made us laugh. If you find memes or tweets or anything online that makes you laugh out loud, shoot it our way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we will try to feature it here on the show because we are always looking for that kind of stuff. So as we reach the end of episode number 2, we just have to say thank you again so much for watching the show. Please share it around. Let people know this is happening. This is absolutely grassroots. We're not spending money to advertise this. We're just making the change.
Yep. And thanks again to Bennett Home, Knoxville, and Nashville for your help.
Yeah. If you enjoyed it, please click like. If this is something that you thought, okay, it's a little better than the last one, still not great, but I want to see what they do next.
If we keep moving forward, fun things will happen.
Yeah, we definitely encourage you to hit that subscribe button, and then if you are really loving it, hit the notification bell to make sure that you are warned when new content goes up. Because not only will we be doing the 2 shows a week, but we also have a lot of other shorter content that we'll be kind of posting up in between. And we really just want you to be at home to find entertainment on this channel. Give us feedback. Get in those comments below and let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of, less of, because we're always looking, for those ideas.
Absolutely.
Now, a couple of quick things. If you haven't seen the first show, if you just joined us on this second one, but you're like, oh, I didn't even know you did a first show, got a link to that. We ask that you check that out. You can compare and contrast.
Yes.
How good or bad were these 2 shows?
They're not really improving. I thought they would.
Yeah.
That kind of a stuff.
Right. And then if you want to actually watch that tearjerker commercial that we were just talking about, we got the link for that here as well. And get ready to shed a tear or two. All right. We love you. We look forward to seeing you the next time. Have a great one.